What's going on, YouTube? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Monster Legends. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button to show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, allergies still kicking my butt, probably will be for like the next month or so, but doesn't stop us from making videos. So if you can deal with my annoying voice, then we will be alright. Today, peeps, we're going to talk about runes. I was going to talk about them a while ago, but other events popped up and kind of, stole the thunder. So we're going to get into that today instead. Alright. Crafting that little dude up right. Yaw. Give it to me. Any hoodles. So, before we start, there's going to be some pictures popping up on the screen of all the runes, level 1 to 10, their stats, stuff like that. So we're going to start over here with life runes. There's going to be life and team life. These pictures won't stay up for very long, just because, take a screenshot and we're going to move on. Alright, this next picture here is going to be strength and team strength. Then we're going to have speed and team speed, stamina, team stamina, and gold and team gold. Alright, so with that out of the way, that's just kind of nice to know all the stats and stuff right offhand without having to look them through the shop and stuff. But there's that. Now also, before we start getting any deeper in here, there's going to be two other things popping up. There's going to be a chart that shows the crafting time from level 1s to level 10s, how long it takes to craft that rune up, and also like a progressive chart of how many runes it takes to craft using level 1 runes. So those are going to be up right now. Feel free to take a screenshot, then we're going to jump into the rest of the things. Alright peeps, so we're going to jump into the shop first, just because. Alright, here we are. You can see there's a little bit of a discount here on a gold level 1 rune. Not really worth taking that at all, but generally, I've seen runes go up to 85% off. Now, I haven't seen the runes that cost gold go up to 85% off, but I've heard someone say they've been up to 80% before where they're 100,000 gold to buy them, which obviously would be when you want to target buying those things. I would never buy any gem that costs runes if it's not on 80 to 85% offer, just because if it's not, you're obviously overpaying for it, right? So, if they're not on offer, never buy gem-based runes ever. It's a horrible idea. If you're really, really rich in gold, you can get away with buying the gold-based runes at 500,000 a pop. Kind of up to you, wherever you want to sit on that. Anyways, with the buying of runes out of the way, I think a level 10 rune at 85% off is like 325, 345 gems, something like that. So that's probably the cheapest you're going to find them. Pick them up if they're there. Anyways, on to crafting, because that's important, right? Now, there are two main types of crafting. There is the 100% method, which I will demonstrate right now. This is the 100% method. What you're using is you're using 4 of the exact same rune, and you're using 4 of the exact same level. What this does is it gives you, like you see here, a 100% chance of getting a level 2 team speed rune. That will be the result every time. This is the method you will probably use really early in the game, just because you want to get a decent bed of high-level runes, well, I guess mid-level runes, for your monsters. But it's not the best way. It's not the best way, let's be honest. So we'll demonstrate the next method, which will be the gambling method. This is where you kind of gamble your runes in hopes that you will get better runes. There's different ways to gamble runes. Sometimes you might see people do something like this. This was on the wiki. Something like, that. And that's a really bad, it's a gamble, because you don't know what you're going to get, but you're using 4 level 3 runes. This is the worst method. I would say that's probably the worst method of gambling there is. So I'm just going to show you guys the best method, the method you should probably be using the most, and that's going to be gambling with 3 level 1 runes of the type that you want, and the 4th one can either be like this, it can be this, it doesn't really matter. The 4th rune is going to be the one that dictates the level of rune you're going to get. The first 3 are going to give you the chance to get the rune you want. So like in this case, we're doing strength runes. So obviously with 3 level 1 strength runes, I'm trying to target a strength rune from the crafting. Well, every rune you put into the deal up here, the crafting mechanism, adds 25% chance that you will get a rune of that type. So right now I've got a 75% chance of getting a strength rune, and if I throw this on top, I've got a 25% chance now to get a team stamina rune. So that's where the gamble comes in. But 75% chance is still good odds, and since you're at level 3 rune here, I'm going to either craft a level 2 rune, a level 3 rune, or a level 4 rune. Generally, I don't gamble with level 3s, I gamble with level 4 plus, so it'd be like, you know, do I have any level 4s I can gamble right now? Sure I do. There you go. That's how I generally set it up. Because what that means is I'm going to get either a level 3 rune, a level 4 rune, or a level 5 rune. Now I got a 26% chance to get a level 5 rune. That's 1 in 4 shots. Statistically speaking, 1 in 4, you will get a level 5 rune. Now, a lot of people would say, why gamble when you can just do the 100% method and guarantee yourself a level 5 rune with 4 runes? Well, let's tackle that problem. Okay, whoops, get that out of here. So, say I wanted a level 5 strength rune. For this sake of the argument, let's say I had 4 level 4 strength runes that I could be using right now. Obviously, I only have 2, because, I don't know, I just do. But, we'll say that's what you're wanting to do. You wanted a level 5 strength rune. So I could have taken all 4 of the strength runes, put them into the deal, and got a level 5 strength rune, and been completely out of level 4 strength runes. When you're gambling, you never can get really upset about your results until you are 4 attempts in. So like in this case, if I were to do this the first time and get a level 3 strength rune, I can't be mad yet, because normally you would have used 4 runes up to get that level 5 rune that you're wanting to start with. So you can't really get mad until you've done 4 runes, and if you don't get a level 5 rune in the 4 runes, yeah, then get a little peeved, okay? But first off, so let's say your first round of trying to gamble a level 5 strength rune, you get a level 3. Well, you're a little bummed, but whatever. You go back in, and you do it again. And say you get another level 3 strength rune, you're like, oh my god, this sucks, right? This is bad, this is not going well, alright? Then you do it the third time, and we'll say this time you actually get a level 4 strength rune, because that can happen. You can get a level 4 out of it. So what you've done is you have pretty much gotten level 4 out of level 4. Kind of stayed the same. Then you take your 4th chance, and we'll say you get the level 5 rune this time. So what you've done is you've taken what would have been 4 level strength runes to make 1 level 5 rune, and instead you got a level 5 rune, 2 level 3 runes, and a level 4 rune from your 4 runes that you were going to use anyway. So it's a much higher reward than just doing all 4 for the 100% method. So that's gambling in a nutshell. And like I said before, you can gamble with different types of runes like this. If you like, Team Stamina and Team Strength are probably the 2 worst runes in the game. You won't use them very often, so they're good to gamble with. In this method here, I could get a level 4 Strength rune out of using 3 level 1s and a level 3 Team Stamina rune, which sucks. So, that's gambling for you. I want to get that out of the way, and now we're going to talk about what always comes up next. What are the best runes, right? What is the best runes in the game? Well, simply put, speed runes rule the day. Speed runes are the #1 rune in the game. I would say those are followed by strength runes, which are followed by life runes, followed by, I wouldn't say stamina runes really, probably team speed runes, but speed runes are the best runes, strength runes are the second best runes. Those are the 2 you'll probably focus primarily on. Now the other runes definitely have uses, they're useful in some spots, but speed and strength will be your most used runes. Now, that being said, after you start digging into getting runes, the big question comes, well, how should I rune my monsters? I got this monster, what rune should I put on it? Stuff like this. Well, so before we tackle that, you're going to have to understand the 4 main archetypes of monster. Now, what does that mean? That means monsters come, basically speaking, in 4 different categories. Now, obviously, some monsters will fit kind of in between these categories, like they don't really fit in one or the other, they're kind of in the middle. But these are the 4 main types. And these are denial monsters. We'll go over here. The reason I call these monsters denial monsters, you can call them setup monsters, speedsters, whatever you really want to call them. I call them denials because their main job, their only job, is to stop the enemy team from attacking, to deny them a turn. That's their job. So obviously, if your job is to make sure the enemy team can't attack, you need to be faster than the enemy team, because if you're going after they've already attacked, you kind of failed at your job, right? So when you are runing a denial monster, which is going to be a monster with an AoE stun, an AoE freeze, AoE possess, AoE stamina drain like General Thades, these monsters always, I would say 99.99% of the time, 3 speed runes. That's all you will ever put on them. There's no reason to ever put any other rune on a denial-based monster, because their job is only to be fast. They don't need to do a lot of damage, they don't need to have a bunch of health, they just need to stop the enemy team from attacking. 3 speed. always. Alright, now, moving on. We're going to move into support monsters. The one right down here. Demise. Now, the support monster's job is to obviously support your team. They can do this by giving health, stamina generation, double damage, triple damage, stuff like that. Removing debuffs from your team, and also removing buffs from the enemy team. So, support monsters' main job is to, like it says, support your team. They're not really doing a lot of damage. They're not really dealing a lot of damage. They're just kind of helping keep your team topped off, doing extra damage, stuff like that. The generally accepted way to rune these monsters, you can see Demise here. I kind of got her breaking the rules a little bit. But it's usually going to be 2 speed, 1 team speed, or 1 speed, 2 team speed. I've seen people run all 3 team speed, which I guess you can get away with sometimes. Like this one here, I'm running all 3 speed, just because Demise is a little different. She's one of those rule breakers, kinda, because her skill gives an extra turn to a monster, so having her really fast isn't a bad idea. Anyways, I digress. So, their main runing is going to be to support your team with faster speed. Well, a lot of people say, why would you put team speed on them? That's kind of stupid, right? Team speed sucks. It's not as good as regular speed. Well, like I said, your denial monster needs to be the fastest monster on the field. Let's say that you and your enemy have the exact same denial monster with the exact same speed runes on it. Well, in the new update, that means a 50% chance that you'll go first and a 50% chance that they will go first. That's not good, because if they go first, that's bad for your team, right? Team speed runes help buff your denial monster to be even faster than the 3 speed runes allow. So be even a little faster than the enemy team. It helps you get your denial monster to go first. That's kind of why they also help buff the speed of your damage dealer, so that they're not super duper slow and getting 2-3 turns done on them before they get to attack once. Okay, so that's the support monsters in a nutshell. Now we're going to jump over to damage dealers. Bam, like Geralt here. You've seen a lot of him. Damage dealers. These monsters' main job, obviously, is to deal the damage of your team. They're going to be hitting hard with either single target damage. Some do that. Some have very strong AoE damage, and some have a mixture of both. Now, the widely accepted runing for this, now it does change when you get to level 10 runes, because level 10 runes give you some wiggle room due to how strong they are. But when you're dealing with level 5 runes and below, I would say, for sure, the most generally accepted runing is 3 strength, or 2 strength and 1 speed. Now, some people say 2 speed, 1 strength is the best, and situationally, it is. Like in Team Wars, where you can't pick your teams, your denial monster, your support monster and stuff, having a faster damage dealer is nice, because it means you're going to be able to attack before the enemy does. And that's obviously good for the team, right? But in PvP, in dungeons, spotlight dungeons, where you have complete control over the team you're using, there's no need to sacrifice damage for speed. Because if your denial monster is the fastest monster on the field like it should be, you've ruined it properly, you've ruined your support monster properly, you won't have any problems getting high damage out. You won't have any problems with this guy getting a turn. Which means you might as well go ahead and give him the super damage he's going to need to one-shot enemies. So that's where I stand on the issue. Some people have different ideas there. Kind of up to you how you want to do it, but that's the way I say to do it. Once you get level 10 runes, obviously that gives you wiggle room due to the fact they're so much stronger, but I would say PvP, dungeons, spotlight dungeons, 3 strength or 2 strength and a speed is fine. Team Wars, 2 speed, 1 strength is the safer option, but you will be doing less damage. So that's your damage dealers, and now we've got the third class, which I don't actually have one leveled up, but I do have one. And that's Dark Space Goo here, Himass. These are tank monsters. Now, tank monsters are kind of like an offensive-based support monster. They take damage and maybe reflect it back to the team, reflect it back to the enemy team, or they will take damage and have like a humongous shield. So, obviously, tank monsters are going to benefit from having very high life. That's kind of their thing. So the generally accepted way to rune tank monsters would be either 3 life, which will give them massive amounts of life, but they'll be very slow. Another good way to rune them is, 2 life, a team life, 2 life, a speed, or 2 life and a strength, depending on how you want to run them. I personally would say you're probably better off running 2 life and a speed rune, just so they get their opportunity to run that special skill that tanks and taunts for them, so that they can suck up all that damage for your team a little faster than if they have all 3 life. But that's just me. generally, that's how you want to run a tank monster's runes. Now, like I said, guys, there are monsters that break these molds, that break the tradition, where they don't rune the same way. A good example would be Voltaic. Voltaic is an absolute damage dealer. That's his only job, is to deal damage. But since he has a weird skill set that gives him extra turns, you don't need 2 strength and a speed on him, you need stamina. So 2 stamina and a speed, 2 stamina and a strength. If you have level 10 runes, 1 stamina, 1 strength, 1 speed is a very good setup. But like I said, he breaks the mold. He's not like other damage dealers. There's a lot of monsters that kind of do this. So runing, you need to, 1, understand what the monster's job is, the skills the monster has, and then from there you can kind of pick which runes you want to put on them. But generally, what I showed you is going to be the 90% of the time what you should be using. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much everything about runes that you need to know. I mean, I would say I don't think I've left anything out. If I did, that's what the comments section's for. Make me feel stupid and tell me how dumb I am. But, just kidding. Anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, don't forget to leave those in the down there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you liked the video, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button to show your support, and I will see you guys next time.